again, buddy,
All
but
right,
I'm here to talk trash.
thought I was doing something wrong
here. Hey!
Good to see you.
You too. Yeah, you were calling me, and I'm like, well, technically, it's not a call.
Yeah, I didn't know how. I was like, how does this work? I'm glad you walked me through it because I was going to ruin it.
It's okay. It's live, so I figured something's gonna go off. I gotta give you all the instructions. A side note, Crafty. Hope you're feeling better and you're resting. I'm trying to send you as many funny things as I find on the internet. All right, now welcome to Hot Take Tuesday Live. Okay, my awesome guest, Talk TV. Tell us about yourself real quick, sir.
Well, name's Damien. Talk TV was something that was kind of just born out of anxiety. That and my wife was just tired of hearing me talk, so she said, "Why don't you write about it?" So yeah, I started Talk TV, and then at one moment I'm writing about it, next thing I'm doing a website, and next thing I'm hanging out with a bunch of people like you on social media.
Yes.
Learning all kinds of new things. I mean, it's been great to hang out with and meet people like you on social media, and I think that's what Talk TV is for me. It's just hanging out, talking about TV, and enjoying the fandoms.
Yeah. I have really enjoyed our community of movie lovers and TV and even filmmakers. It's so nice because it's like you get like a nice diverse, and everyone seems to be respectful. Like
yeah.
If someone really hated a film, they'll joke about like how you liking it, but no one's like attacking anyone, which is what I really like.
Unless you cross those people who watch their soap operas religiously. I made the mistake of making a comment about, I want to say her name is Laura Carly, and she's from General Hospital. I said something about her, and the words that came out of that, boy, it was violent. I was like, I'll never do that again.
No, listen, you gotta leave the soap operas alone, okay? They're ingrained. They had a whole following.
Yeah.
Don't touch them. Don't touch them. I remember going to my
dedication.
Yeah, they're still on.
Yeah, those soap. They're soap. I thought, I started watching a little bit of it, catching up, and there was just this one moment, this one character drove me crazy. And I said, see, it's good that she got it. Good what happened to her. And the next minute, it was just like, the feed was like, what did you say about her? And it was F you, F this. I was like.
I'm talking about the character.
I'm talking about the character. I like the lady.
I mean,
the truth is, any actor that can invoke emotion from me, I have a lot of respect for. I love them in their profession. If I'm watching you and I don't get an emotion from you, if I don't feel that towards it, then it's a waste,
One of my favorite characters to hate is Walter Goggins. Not the actor, but you know what I'm talking about. Like he plays he is so good.
Yeah. He's so
good at being bad. I'm like, I love you and hate you all at the same time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, all right. So we are going to dive into John Wick Chapter 4. Thank you for helping me to watch this, because sometimes with certain things I only want to see in the theater. If I don't catch it in the theater, like I'm like, well, I'll see it when I see it. And every time I see it, I'm like, not now. But when I saw it was one of your lists, I was like, okay, no, you're going to watch it. And then I'm just like, this is why I should have seen it in the theater.
Yeah. See, I think credit to John Wick, right? Because I'll tell you where my mindset is on it. It answers a question for someone like me, where I grew up with Death Wish, right? And I watched Death Wish, and my question was, how much killing could we get? How many dead bodies can we get? Is there ever too much? And John Wick 4 answered that question. That was a lot.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Death Wish is Charles Bronson?
That's correct.
Yes. That's the homie right there. Okay. So, guys, feel free to comment, ask questions. We'll get to them as we can. We're talking about John Wick Chapter 4. But we may, dive into the first 3. Okay? It's going to happen. So, I guess that kind of answers. Well, let me ask you, how did you feel about 4? Did you like it? How did you feel?
I tell you what, I measure everything by whether or not I would walk to Blockbuster to go rent it today. In the cold storm, in the streets of the Bronx. Would I walk the streets of the Bronx to go rent John Wick Chapter 4? Now, that means I'd have to walk past a couple of dangerous neighborhoods. But, yeah, I'd walk to Blockbuster to rent that. Even after seeing it, I think I would still go and say, yeah, you know what? I want that on a Friday night. But here's the thing. The only issue I have when I say I would rent it, I would have to be rested because the movie takes a lot out of you.
Oh. Yeah, listen. I am not one of those people who was turned off by a long movie or anything, but there was just so much happening that I'm like, how much longer?
Yes.
How much longer? Like, how is there still 40 minutes left?
Exactly.
What are we doing? Like,
there was a scene, and actually the first time we watched this, we watched it from home, me and my wife, and we were excited. We sat down, we got some wine, and we was right in front of there. And then when it got to that real heart of the killing, and it just kept going and going and going, we was starting to snooze. We was like, is he done yet?
What?
Now, I've never thought, and that's why I say, look, it answers those kind of questions where I watched movies like Charles Bronson where I say, oh, he only killed like 3-4 people. What's going on? You know, like, when are we going to get that movie? And that's coming out of the 80s where you're going to see that real fighting, real killing, and it's going to go the distance. John Wick movies have always been the answer to that. They'll give you the bodies. The thing is, can you sit through it?
Yeah.
That's like sitting on a roller coaster that just won't stop. And it kept going. I was like, yes, he's still killing. And I'll tell you this much. Some of the characters were a little to that left, you know, where it was just like one character, the big muscle guy, I forget what his name was, but I know he had to kill him to get back included into his family.
Oh, okay. Was that like a fat suit and makeup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my thing with this guy was he looked like a character out of Dick Tracy's movie, and I was like, yeah, it looked like he belonged in this.
No.
Yeah, like some sort of a weird kingpin. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, well, look, I'll go with it. I didn't understand why they was running around with axes in the clubs. I didn't understand why none of the people in the club weren't running.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I chalked it up to, yo, that cover charge is crazy. They're like, nah, I'm getting every bit of this money right now. I don't care. Oh, you over there? I'm gonna dance over here because I paid too much money to come up in here to not be dancing. I'm like, all right, I see you.
I remember, I remember, and not to go too far off, I remember one time we were sitting in this small club and the music just stopped because the bouncers was kicking out this big guy. And we all started, the whole club was laughing at him. And he said, oh, it's funny? It's funny? I'm coming back and I'm shooting all of you. And that was just a word of mouth. We left. We didn't wait to come see axes or guns or bullets flying. We left. And these people, there's axes, bullets, people falling off the side. And they was just dancing, you know? I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, that's when you hide. When axes is going off around, and you stay there, right? And you just keep watching. Yeah.
The Crafty Misfit says, falling down the stairs for 20 minutes like a slinky made us laugh. That was funny. It was funny. Just on the movie night says, oh, the movie you are looking for is called The Raid. I think that's a lot of bodies in that one. I haven't seen it yet. Crafty says, Donnie Yen was the best thing about John Wick 4. Otherwise, the film was quite ludicrous.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, look, the first one felt it had like the first one felt like it had more grit.
Oh yeah, way more levity. Like it's like for the most part believable. Like there's not, you know what I mean? Like there's like at least 8 separate times watching this movie. I'm like, he should have been dead. He should have died. He should have been dead.
Yeah.
Just the movie. Hold on. Just the movie night says John Wick 4 is a cartoon version of John Wick. Next movie, he goes to space. Damn it. If Fast and Furious can do it, because I know how much you guys love that movie, then they can.
Yeah, they can do it. They can do it. He could do 13 of these. I mean, you're gonna want to see what he does next. All right, we talking about. I mean, if Bruce Lee last movie would have been him going up the stairs and then falling all the way back down them stairs and have to do that gauntlet again, there's no way. I think even Bruce Lee was like, not doing this.
like literally as he's falling, I'm like, John, John, no, roll, John, tuck something, John. I'm yelling at the screen. It was funny. It was hilarious.
Yeah. You got. I tell you what. As a villain, and you mentioned about being a part of this world and working for these people, right?
Yeah.
I think I would be too lazy for all of this. I mean, I can imagine being physically fit, but still too lazy to keep up with that kind of fight. That's it. I would hope my daughter come get some revenge for me, though.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? We need to talk about that, actually. So when, I think her name was Mia, when she, father, I guess, died, and he told her, Kane told her, I'll be waiting for you, if anything. Like, it reminded me of Kill Bill, Volume 4, when Uma Thurman, she went and killed Vivica Fox, and she turned around, her daughter was there, and she was like, she had it coming. I was like, damn. And she goes, tell you what, if you grow up, you still mad, come holler at me, come find me. I'm like, I've been waiting for that sequel since that moment. I was like, when we get into Volume 3, because she coming back strong. When we get into Volume 3.
You mentioned Kill Bill, and I still think that Kill Bill is still the bloodiest revenge that I've seen when it comes to a sequence, like a major fight. I think that they made that one the bloodiest. Oh. If somebody had to get revenge for me, it would have to be. Yeah.
Listen. If you want bloody fights, you go to Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. He gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
X gonna give it to you, and Q gonna give it to you. Yeah. You gonna get it. So
Tarantino's got the only movies where you missing a limb and still fighting with a sword, and somewhere like a foot will have a gun or something. It never makes sense, but it works. It works.
It does. And let me just say this. Just the movie night says, you guys are killing me when he bounced off the cars. Dude.
Anybody hit that often?
Like, here's the thing. At some point, when you're an actor of this caliber, in this stage in the game, you don't even need to go to DC or Marvel because you already there at Superman status. You bouncing off cars, you falling off, 5 or 6 stories, and didn't hit nothing soft. I thought like he was going to fall off and hit something a little soft. No, it's a truck. Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I could even see me being one of those little minion villains on the side saying, time out. You didn't feel that? You just got hit and you still coming at me? He fell off that rim in the club and hit a pole, and kept going down. And all you heard was a little grunt.
Sleeping rating scale. Y'all talking about Mea Culpa? No, we're talking about John Wick 4. Mea Culpa. Was that in John Wick 4? Am I confusing that?
Why does that sound familiar?
Right? It sounds familiar. Is it from the movie? I just watched it too. Damn it.
Yeah, I was literally watching it over again, and I gotta tell you, I was still saying, I was like, man, I didn't even remember this scene being that long. And even the poor dog got it. Hit by a car, punched, kicked, and was still coming at you.
So just in the movie night, Encrafted telling us, Raid 2, you guys need to see these two the best. Please watch those films. Okay, so Raid and the Raid 2. Have you seen them?
I've seen Raid. And then
okay, I've only heard of their magnificence. I have not yet encountered it.
Those kind of movies, they have this gauntlet gauntlet style, just very much like the one that inspired it. I mean, when you do one of these gauntlet killings, I mean, you want it to be the way it is. You want it to be almost operatic, you know, like there's a little bit of an opera to it. There's a little, but you want that gauntlet to be constant shooting. You don't want it to stop. That does hurt some of the scenes for this film, for part 4, because there was just too much grandiose in some scenes, right? Like everything was either a long hallway or something that didn't need to be there. It could have been a warehouse killing. The way they fight was good enough. You don't need too much, but I do appreciate the you know, a lot of the cinematography that went into it. But at the same time, it was just like, is it a distraction? Why is it so grandiose in this scene? Let's just get to the fight. You know? The street fight was a street fight. I respect it. It didn't need anything. The stairs, that stair fight right there was not too much to it. There was nothing big. It was gritty right there. Right? Yeah. That's all you need. You don't need a whole bunch of big lampshades in the background, carpets and horses and swords. And let's get to the fight.
Wait. Didn't the last one is when he used a horse to hit somebody or something? That was the last one, right?
Yeah. Somebody got kicked in the head real hard.
Yo, he like, I'm gonna make it do what it do.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Guys, we're talking about John Wick Chapter 4. I mean, but feel free to comment about 1 through 4. Crafty says Keanu is 60, bouncing off beams, rolling downstairs, and getting smacked by numerous cars. He's okay.
Yeah. I tell you what. I will tell you what. I don't see Tom Cruise doing that. I'm gonna bring Tom Cruise version of his little bit of a gauntlet that he does. He's good with the running scenes, good with the action sequence. But this one feels, I mean, a different type of physical when you watching this film. This is way different type of physical. It feels. It's way more intense in the fighting scenes.
So, all right. So I did. Well, no, I wait for later to say that. But my question is, who is not an assassin in this series? They
in this one?
I mean, in this world. Matter of fact, do police exist in this world? I ain't seen near one car. I haven't heard one siren. No. I'm sorry if I'm screaming, guys. Don't be confused.
I felt like the whole world was just no law enforcement. I would have been happy if at least maybe one showed up and was corrupt at least, but not. You can just run around.
It's not even that. Okay, so my thing is, they're very rich, they're very powerful. I am sure they have the government underneath their thumb, but you can't tell me there ain't at least a few rogue, good Boy Scout, Girl Scout cops like, nah, I'm not about this. I came here to find out what's really going on, who insist on diving deeper and deeper before. I don't know, but like I'm saying is like you mean tell me ain't one rogue cop who ain't on the tape? Not one. Thanks.
And I give them credit because you ain't even got
Mission Impossible. Where y'all at? Go ahead. Sorry.
Not even a concerned citizen stopped to say, "Ooh, he just got hit by a car."
All right. I'm so happy you said that because there's one point when they were fighting in the street or whatever. This is before all the cars. I think this is when he did. That I'm going to call it the 360 Tokyo Drift Death Circle.
What was that?
It's exactly what I told you. The 360 Tokyo Drift Death Circle.
Yeah.
Cool. So cool. And you know what? I'm going to have to agree with Scott. He says, just on the movie night says, so true. It's over embellished. Looks beautiful, but style no substance. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed myself immensely. They have definitely upped the ante. Yeah. It was a good time for sure. But I can definitely see where it's like, to be fair, story has not been John Wick's strong suit from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in like a negative way. What I'm saying is like, oh, you kill my dog? Nah. Everybody got to get laid down. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're just doing it. Yeah. So it wasn't like an intricate thing. As a matter of fact, it got more intricate with the world of the high table. Not really, you know what I mean? So, boom.
I tell you what, I love that backstory of the world, right? That's definitely interesting. And I kind of, just like you said, you just enjoy it for what it is. You know it's gonna be crazy. You know it's gonna be off the wall. It's the same thing like Fast and the Furious. I mean, I haven't even seen the last Fast and the Furious, but from the last trailer I saw, they was going off cliffs and doing all. I mean, these guys went way past Mission Impossible now with their cars, and I'm like, all right, if you learn to love the story, you learn to love it. But could you imagine if we had a grittier or darker version of John Wick? Like if it was some real revenge, like they took his wife, his family, you know, almost real Punisher style, and I'm gonna come back, I'm killing everybody, like dark and believable, like he's literally limping to his end goal. I could see that, you know what I mean? But then again, we probably wouldn't get that serious body count, so that would hurt the story.
Yeah, and then so the thing I like about it was the comical thing for me about the first one, looking at it from a comedic standpoint, is every other story of revenge is, oh, you kill my wife and child, I'm coming for you. They didn't even do that. Oh, you kill my dog? Oh, okay. Whole world got to blow up.
In my defense, if it was a purge, a real purge in this world, and somebody killed my cat, I might go to get the neighbor real quick and chop some head off. But that's my cat. You know, I love my cat. But I don't know if I'm going through a gauntlet. I even told the wife, don't get kidnapped in another country, because I don't know if I have the energy to come looking for you like Taken. I can't be doing all that. You know.
Nah, those aren't my special set of skills. The Crafty Misfit says, Tom Cruise is a boss, throwing himself out of planes and doing his own stunts. The pigeons are assassins. Jess Daniel says, whoa, that's a sick band name. I'm assuming he's talking about the 360 Tokyo Drift Death Circle.
Yeah.
And if it is, trademark.
Yeah, trademark.
I mean, I don't own a band. I can't play nothing but play the viola. That's about
when
it.
he was doing that drift, I'm saying, don't you got to get somewhere? How you doing a second loop and a third loop? Get to where you trying to get to. The sun's coming up.
They said you got to give County less dialogue so more interesting people around them. True. You guys seen Nobody? Hell yeah, I seen Nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I love it.
It's just like what I wanted. I don't know if you guys remember the film Faster with The Rock.
Oh, I remember the film.
All right. That beginning part where he comes out and he's just walking to his target and he's just coming at you. You want that. I just keep coming, start killing. That's exactly what I was looking for. Even though for Faster it kind of petered off towards the end, that's the kind of killing I'm looking for.
So the thing I like about The Rock was like in that role is that there is no he doesn't have like this excessive dialogue talking about all these things. They do a lot of show not telling that, which I really respect and love. Like they don't, he doesn't tell you what you did to my family. They show you, and he just has these it makes him more menacing to me the less he talks, because he's like they're telling him something when he's getting out of prison, and I guess they're going over certain things, and he's just like, where's the door? That's it. That's it. I was like, oh.
And you just start going.
Let's go.
That's what I envision real anger being like. Like you've been held up, and once it gets, you just go, and you're gonna go kill. You know what I mean? And I think my first real experience into watching movies like this, where the bloodiest scene the first bloody scene that I can remember seeing is True Romance, where it was at the end with Christian Slater. I think Christian Slater, right? Christian Slater, True Romance at the end.
Don't shoot me. I haven't seen that one.
Okay, it's all right. Look, that right now in today's, when you compare it to today's action, it doesn't compare. But there's this ending that was so bloody that I was like, oh, we're hitting a new level. You know what I mean? We're hitting a new level.
Yeah.
But that was back then. Now you see it, and that's throughout the storyline.
Yeah.
You know, and you can appreciate it. but it could be a little exhausting going all the way through for sure.
Oh, hold on. Got some comments. Jess Daniel says, I liked Nobody, but I feel like it didn't add up to that much. It was a fun movie, though. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to disagree, but I think I need to rewatch it because I just remember having fun with it. So maybe you're right. Just in the movie night says, feels like more of that revenge you want. Mm-hmm. Drive is another. Is Drive? Is that the one with Ryan Gosling?
No,
right.
that's
No. Hello, Uruguay. Hey, hello from Uruguay. Uruguay. Am I saying it right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I sound so American.
Ryan Gosling. Yep. Somebody said yes. Ryan Gosling. Yeah.
Uruguay.
Yeah.
Uruguay. Damn it. Sorry. Yes, Ken. I'm just Ken. I love it. Let me see. We talked about that. Okay. Where did my homie from the beanie come from and the dog? Where he came from, and why was I getting I Am Legend vibes? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like he was just on that Mr. Nobody. Who are you, Mr. Nobody? All right, I can work with it.
All right.
But I tell you what, I was kind of wishing that there would have been two dogs in this scene. Like I felt like John Wick has his.
Oh, like what Halle Berry?
Yeah.
Like Halle Berry.
Yeah, Halle, you know what I mean? Like, bring everybody's dog into this.
Let me tell you something about that. So, all right. So first, the guy. Okay, when he said, you know, we're on the same side for now or something. When he came, the way he was moving, I thought that he was like kin to Sharon, the concierge that died in the beginning, and you know, R.I.P.
Yes.
And because I was like, oh, maybe he's mad about how things went, but I'm like, oh, he's not related to him. Oh, he's just a tracker. Okay, but I feel like I didn't get enough of that. Like, I don't need a whole backstory with him. I'm just like, but you just show up. I'm a tracker. And you find this note, and you're sitting with this notebook and all these notes to know these things. Like, how did you get a hold of this? Is this John Wick's previous notebook? Like, you stole from somebody? Did I miss a scene? You tell me, did I miss something? Did he find that notebook somewhere? Or kill somebody who's kin to John Wick or knows him or something? Because how did he know these things? Where does this notebook come from? What does it mean?
And
sorry.
I feel like whenever they throw a character in like that, we're about to see a spin-off of the movie or something like that. Or some sort of a prequel, something, you know?
Yeah.
Because if you're not going to give us the information, then you're telling me this guy's going to pop up in a bigger piece later on, and we'll learn more about him. That's what I was hoping for. Because you just back in, and then he's sitting there like window dressing to the rest of the fight, drinking a beer. Yeah. I'm like, where was your whole point of being here? Why are you here at this point?
And then like you're motivated by money, but there are a couple of times where you literally have the shot and you don't take it. And, like, at the end, I get it because he saved his dog. That's his right, you know. So it was kind of like okay, I owe you. I get that part. But before that, there was a couple times I'm just like, it's not like John Wick, but take the shot, homie. What are we talking about? Don't you want money? Why are you over here? You got your whole finger messed up for nothing? What are we doing?
Let's talk.
Did I miss something?
We got to talk about that rejoining the family. That he came all the way back to join the family, and I'm thinking to myself, first of all, I don't even like seeing my family that often, so I can understand getting away, but to have to go through all of that just to rejoin your family, and they don't even seem like they like you in the first place. And does that poor woman have to then burn her arm every time somebody's joining?
I thought, I'm so glad you brought that up. Because I saw that, and I was like, wouldn't he just have to burn his arm because she would have already had her arm burned because she's by the family? Because
that was like,
what? I mean, I know stylistically it looks cool, but
yeah, it does.
But okay, all right. I guess this is what Scott means: style over substance. Like, it looks cool. It may not make as much sense, but it looks cool. So I'm like, all right. This is okay. It is what it is. This is what we do. I got you. Such an American Cause, okay, I know. Cause the way I you know, said the country that I'm not gonna say again because I keep messing it up. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Holly Berry's scene was great. Part 4 was lacking cool stuff like that. I have to disagree, Crafty, because there are two distinct scenes that we talked about one already, which was maybe he did too many rounds, but it was a very cool shot. I loved it.
It was, yeah.
One of the other shots that I loved was that the panning scene. I even filmed it and posted it. I loved it so much. The panning scene where like they're pulling out the knives. I'm like, yo, it's about to go. Like, and he goes, he says whatever he says in you know, Japanese foreign language, which means kill them. And I was like, and the beat drops. I'm like, yo, like. Yeah. I thought that those two scenes were, like, off the top of my head, like, two of my favorite scenes. Like, very nice. Very good.
Yeah, I could definitely say that. Well, when it comes to seeing someone like Halle Berry in action, I doubt that there's ever going to be, like, a moment with her and a gun just going crazy, killing people that I'm not going to like.
Oh,
but as far as
obviously.
Yeah, but as far as for this one, for 4, there wasn't a scene I really didn't like. You know, it was just, it was always like, I mean, there's this dance that they do with these guns, you know, in these fight scenes that I always love seeing. You know, I mean, for me, when they're adding it into the fight scenes and it's in your face, and then they're throwing in swords at the same time, and you got soldiers coming in with these dark masks, the whole thing, it was just cool. You know? I was just loving that.
So cool. Yes. Now, here's what I will say. Halle Berry with the dogs was much cooler than my tracker dude with his one dog. Like the way, like it was much cooler. It was much cooler to watch. I will say that. But I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna ignore the fact that my man would just be like nuts.
Yeah.
Dog knew exactly what to do. He did it more than once, and I was like, I don't have anything to worry about down there, and I'm hurting. Like, exactly. Wow.
Every time I saw that, I was like, that's just not even right. That's not a fair zone to be playing. I just felt like, nah. And just to say it out loud, nuts. And you think that the villain would know where he was going when you hear the word nuts. I think if I heard nuts and I see a dog, I know what I'm reaching for. I'm covering myself.
Listen.
No, they never protect themselves. They use nuts.
No.
Well, you see.
No.
Protect yourself.
Listen. You can get a chunk out of my arm. All right, I guess I won't hear in this ear if you bite it off, but down here it's going to be like ironclad protected. So that was wild to me. And you know what? The tracker dude, he was pretty bold too. I was like, he stepped into Pennywise the Clown like he just about it like that, and I'm like, yo, you might want to chill. You might want to chill.
But I do think that his place in the story, just that, like, when they first introduced this guy, he seemed to be, out of all of them, the one who didn't have an explanation for why he really wanted to be there with enough passion. Money, yes, right? But what's driving that money? Are you looking to retire? Or do you want out of the business? Are you you know, what's the purpose behind that money? You know, like, why are you waiting for it to go up? Because you had more opportunities to kill Wick than anybody else.
Yeah. Oh, and just in the movie, it says that character was pointless. He kind of was. Like, I know that he saved John a couple times, but like, he really wasn't needed. He didn't really impact the story that much.
You know what they could have done was make him sound like he was Wick's replacement or something. You know, or give him something. Like he was trying to come up and be the new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, something. Like, it just, I don't know. It just, like I said, like, either remove him or make his place make more sense.
Exactly.
So that's kind of how I feel about, like, the tracker guy. I enjoyed him, but I'm just like, why are you here, dog? your moves and your motives don't make all the way sense to me.
And I respect that little homage they gave to the what's the movie Warrior, which is what they did with the whole radio scene, the disc jockey playing the scene. We got this guy in this area. That was very reminiscent of that scene from Warrior and Come Out and Play kind of stuff. It worked in there. It wasn't terrible. You could see that call to all the criminals coming out.
Yeah.
I appreciate that part.
Yeah,
I always like when I see
that wordplay was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. The wordplay was definitely fun. A wicked man, da 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 da. I was like, I see what you're doing, and I like it. So let's move to what you call it, the Kane. Let's talk a little bit about Kane. What was his agreement? Like, I want to know. Like, you gave up your eyes, and you're retired, and they still get to call you whenever they want, but you can't have interaction with, I'm assuming it's his daughter?
It don't make sense.
Thank you.
Giving up the eyes and you still got to come back? There never seems to be a paper contract. Everything's just by word. Because he should be able to pull out a paper and say, hey, look, I gave my eyes. I'm not coming back to work. I retired.
Okay, or he gave his eyes and he retired, they want you to come back, fine, but he's not allowed to, like, interact with his daughter. Because, like, when he was watching her, they said, oh, you're too close. You're too close. I was like, and then even John Wick told him, like, how many people did you have to kill to get out? And he said a lot or something. And I'm just like, well, I guess you went really all the way out. As far as I know, John Wick the only one that successfully got all the way out, which is why I mentioned, like, retirement being the biggest problem.
Yeah. And to be honest, if you had to work that hard to get out, and if you had to work that hard to get out, and you're working that hard to get your revenge, then you should have stood out. He should know the business. This was a crime.
Listen, and let me say what's funny about this. Like, I know that it's much more interesting to see the assassins attacking assassins. I'm also like, so who do y'all kill? Like, who do y'all really kill? Like, who? Like, governments are hiring you to topple, like, personal. Like, I know that we had one in, was it 2 with Common, where he went to the raid party and killed the girl because he had to, because it was an agreement, something like that. I can't remember. I think it was part 2. I think it was part 3. One of them. But that's the only time I've seen them like kill somebody who ain't really an assassin. Because I was just like, I hear you. You got to keep everybody in line. John Wick out of line. Let's attack him. Let's kill him. I got you. But also, who is on the stats?
And who killed him? To your point, it felt like in, I think, part 2 that it was a little implied when you see that there's other assassins hanging out in the hotel. They look like they're there to do work. You know what I mean? So I get the point of the hotel.
Yeah.
You're going from place to place. Look, actually, the hotel makes a lot of sense if you're going from country to country killing people. And I love that part of the story. You know what I mean? Hey, you ain't got to ever be seen anywhere. You just come stay at this hotel. You pay our taxis to take you where you need to take you. There's never no record, everything's done by coin. All of that makes sense to me.
I'm glad you brought up the hotel, because that was another question I had. So we're going to do demolition in the middle of the city? And no one... Okay.
And then it looked like a real demolition. I thought the building went down. I thought it went down. And I saw the guy still looking at it. I'm like, wait, it's still up. But it's not. I mean, I thought it went down when you see an explosion like that.
That's what I thought. So I will say, again, cinematography style, awesome. One of the coolest scenes was the overhead fight when he's going through the rooms and you're just watching bird's eye view, I guess you could say, looking down, and it is so cool. It's so cool. And they switch back to, like, in person like that. But I was like,
Yeah. But you know that it doesn't look like they spared anything when it came to the scenery, the backdrop. I mean, everything was nice. The furniture, the cars, the amount of nice cars that was in there. I mean, I loved all of that.
Oh yeah, somebody was paying real money bucks to have their vehicles featured in this movie.
Yeah.
And I ain't mad at them. I get it. I ain't mad at you. Do you? Oh, what was I gonna say? It was yes. Who's cleaning up the bodies?
That's
Who's
not
cleaning up the bodies?
That's why the police don't show up. They busy picking up the body.
Yo, I don't see it. Not even an ambulance. Yo, no one's calling 911.
No, and it seems like everybody in the crowd was even assassins at one point, right? Because he comes up from the tunnel, the radio comes on and says, "Oh, we spotted him," and then some people just get up from the coffee spot right there, right behind him. I think they were sitting or eating outside. They just got up right behind him and said, "That's him."
Again,
I mean, how deep is
cool.
this?
It looks so cool, but I'm like, we just hang around waiting to hopefully come across the target. It's fine. Now I think that Marquise was being cheap. Okay, because this is John Wick. Your ego got the best of you. You waited till the very end to make it 40 million. Nah, off rip, 40 million. Get this dude. End this.
Yeah.
He was like 20, 23, 26. Like, raise the price. He coming for you.
I don't understand why we negotiating this.
You got the money.
I mean, you 20 million probably in the first movie, 20 million maybe in the second movie, but we in part 4. That means that this man is way more. He's got to be way past that 20 million. He's killing an assassin. He's killed some of your top assassins in the past 3.
Yeah.
20 million?
Yeah.
Now, let's up that. Let's put 100 million on the table because we dishing out gold coins. So there's 100 million somewhere. Let's put that 100 million on the table and tell everybody it's 100 million. Let everybody come to it.
That's what I'm saying. Why? Like it's madness to me. And he made it all the way to your top dude in whatever, some sand place or whatever. Yeah, we'll just sit on it. Okay, add another 3 million. All right. You know what? Do you, Pennywise? Do you? Side note, I ain't know what that's all.
I tell you what. That's why I say I would love to see a gritty version of this, like something that was dark, that makes you feel bad for enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to see a dark version of a movie like this where every murder, every killing from these assassins is just making you like, oh, that's just not right. You feel bad about it. You know what I mean? I would love to see a film like that where it was just dark, where people on the sidelines are catching a bullet in their ass just because they were standing there watching. You know what I mean? Because I know that they swinging axes in the club and they still swinging their arms around. That's still...
He shot your homeboy in the butt. He shot your homeboy in the butt.
And he was mad about that. You shot me in the ass.
And all right. So answer. Oh, hold on. Justin the Movie Another says the top down felt almost too video game like, to the point that I didn't believe it was real. More like CGI. It was neat but sudden. Oh, like the overhead camera shot of the fighting.
Yeah.
Well, I think it flowed for me because there was so much going on. I think a different perspective helped me to stay engaged, to be perfectly honest with you. But what was I going to say about the... Oh, if there's a blind assassin, I'm not messing with him.
No.
He's a blind assassin, and they sent him after the top assassin with confidence and gusto. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You got it,
and
dog.
Leave it to... And you know what? You got to ask what came first, right? Did they sit down with Donnie and say, what you want your character to be? Or did they have this character already in mind and said, nobody can pull it off but Donnie Yen? You know what I mean? Like,
he was so good. Yeah. Listen. I remember seeing him in Blade, 2.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Blades. Okay, favorite movie. And I'm like, yeah, but they so underutilized him still. You know,
Yeah.
they underutilized him. I was like, he could do so much more. I get it, he wasn't the main character, he wasn't Wesley, but you could do more with that. But here, they're like, you know what? We're gonna up the ante. He gonna be blind and killing it. And I'm like, and he did.
Yeah.
And when he was putting little white things, I'm like, oh, he can put the blow place up. Ding dong. Nope. I was like, oh, okay, okay. Okay.
Where you got that at? Home Depot? I need
yo! I'm like, you just walk around with that dog? Okay, Kate, okay. You just walk around with it.
Yeah, I was like, I could use some of those. You know how much, that's the kind of thing you want to have with you in your pocket.
Yeah.
When you being chased by like Jason or Fred, you know what I mean? Or Michael Myers, you just want to stick him around so you know he's coming closer. Yeah.
It was so
That's what
funny.
I want.
It was so funny. Guys, listen. I still think it's worth it, you guys, to if you're into the John Wick series or you really like action, like check out John Wick. Again, this is chapter 4 we're talking about. I don't think we have a little spoilers, but not too much. But okay, I know that Morpheus is that dude. Okay, I know he is. Lawrence Fishburne, Morpheus, Ike Turner, Bowery King, whatever you want to call him, he is that dude.
Mm-hmm.
However, what connections he got in Paris? Dog, you run the undersea sewer in. Okay.
I tell you what, to unite the poor that way, where you got connections like that in a whole other country, that's respect. You should be called king.
Yeah. Yeah. Long live the king.
Yeah. You're going to be king of something. Those will be the ones
king of something. Yo, he like listen. Only Lawrence Fishburne can make like, a seemingly homeless person look so badass, yo. Like
the whole lifestyle, right? Like only Lawrence Fishburne could walk so pimp and so cool and be
it's some
like
raggedy clothes.
And make look like being poor be cool. Like you want to go hang out with the poor people,
right?
And be like, let's unite.
Yo, like he really made it cool. He really made it cool. So we're about to wrap up here, guys, on our John Wick chapter 4 discussion. Is John Wick alive?
I think he is. I think we need that. We need that closure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we need that, or we need a better prequel to everything. You know what I mean? I would love a nice closure, but I would also like to know some more about that Baba Yaga. I know what he does now, but what made you that ghost of a killer before? You know, I mean, there's so much more detail, and then you still got this high council sitting up there, just getting away with it. If you're gonna go this far, high table.
So So here's my thing. I don't think he's dead. I think he faked his death because remember that conversation he had with Kane, where I got out and you're supposed to be retired, but you're back in. So even though they said, oh yeah, you fought, you won, you're out, even though they honored it the first time he left, he'd only been gone for like 3 to 5 years, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How long would it have taken for something to happen for him to come to him and force him to come back anyway? So I don't even think he even fully trusts the pardon that they gave him. So couple the pardon with fake death. You gotta.
Then you get that left alone, and I could see that. But
I feel like. Oh, tell me.
But if he's sitting in that, he's got to be sitting there stewing just a little bit. Even if he's sitting in the background, enjoying that peace and quiet, there's only 2 reasons I think you don't go further up, and that's obviously the High Council is that untouchable, right? So you say, you know what, I don't even want to go any further, right? But it feels like that's a missing piece for me, right? Because this Marquis, he's young. He's not one of the old heads. You know what I mean? He's a young dude, right? So you went through all this revenge for this young guy who really was he doesn't seem like from the old story, or at least what they make up to be the old story, right? He's that one who's saying we're going to be the new world. So the revenge can't really be for him. That he feels like just another soldier in the story.
He's ambitious.
Yeah.
That's what did him in. His ambition and his ego. Those two things combined is what did him in. Because even the I can't remember his name now, but Buddy, with the scar and the hat, you know, who delivered the message to the first hotel. Even he said, "Yo, what was the place called? Where was it? Osaka? I can't remember the name of it because
it was
that hotel.
Not necessary.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary. You didn't have to do all that. Like, nah, that's in the message. All right, now, you might want to watch yourself. And let me tell you something. You want to listen to old people. Older people, they're that age for a reason. They got there for a reason. Most of the time, they made it that far for a reason. If he's telling you, hey, chill out, slow down a little bit, reassess, you might want to follow suit.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But, you know, that's what happens. Ego and ambition. They gonna let me for my ambition. Yeah, not if you're not here, dog. Not if you're not here. So I did a poll on Instagram and YouTube, and I said, you know, what's your favorite John Wick film in the series? 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as of our conversation, I haven't checked since. On Instagram, I think John Wick, first one was just in the lead. On YouTube.
I saw that one.
Oh, you saw the YouTube one?
Yeah, when at the last count, I think it was at 40% on number 4. I think it was, right.
For Instagram or for YouTube?
For YouTube.
Oh, yeah. It was number 4 was in the lead. Like I saw it right before I got on here. It was at like I think 100 and something people had voted at that time, and chapter 4 was like it was chapter 4, then 1, then 2 and 3, but chapter 4 had like a considerable lead. And the thing about sometimes doing these polls where you're comparing in the series, the one that's the freshest gets the most love because I just saw it and it blew my mind. But when's the last time you saw the other ones?
Yeah.
You know, you might change your mind a little bit because over time, it's about, what's the word? Spectacle. Upping the ante, making it louder and bigger. So, of course, more attention. And, you know, there's way more action in John Wick 4 than there is in 1. And they just keep upping the ante. So, I'm asking you right now, out of the 4, which is your favorite one? I'm always
gonna say I love that first one because out of the 4, that one felt a little darker, right? It felt like the killing of his puppy had so much more meaning, right? They did a good part with building that connection with the character where you felt like there was something more behind the story. It wasn't just about the puppy, right?
Yeah.
And as the fight goes on, you start to say, yeah, there's more to this because this guy's trying to live this quiet life, and he looks like he's still hurting from the loss of his love. So that felt darker. It felt realistic. Even with the outlandish stunts, it felt like I understood the drive for this character. You know, when you go further on, and it feels like they're trying to craft the story for why he has to stay in this fight. When you go into part 2, part 3, sometimes it felt a little forced as to why he's staying in this fight.
Yeah.
But that first one, that first one definitely inspires you to want to see 2, 3, and 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you watched it for the first time, you're in that mood. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So I am going to pretty much agree and piggyback off that. I think the first one is the best one. Because not only was it just an introduction, but you didn't know who John Wick was, and you uncovered. Like it was so cool seeing the response of other people. Wait, it was John Wick? You're like, well, who this dude? What you saying? And you saw like how he seemed like a chill dude, chill guy, and then flipped, and you're like, and you see the damage he does. And then when the fact that they told him about, I don't think they did it in this movie. I think they did it. I think they paid it off in the sequel. But the Russian guy had managed. I think he was Russian. He had managed to talk about John Wick killing like 7 people or whatever people with a pencil. And I don't think it happened in this one. I think they paid it off later, which I thought was a wonderful callback, because I think it was part 2 or 3. One of them where he had a pencil, boom, boom, boom. You're like, oh, that's how he did it. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, and like you said, like his reasoning and what the puppy, and how the puppy was more than just a puppy, like it was part of the family. It was the last remnant of her, and it just like he's already grieving. When a killer is grieving, watch out. And
So
it was so great.
So Cashew, you said you love Blade, right?
Yeah.
Out of those 3, if you were looking at it from the same way we just put it, which one would be your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
I do, actually. I do. And ironically, it's Blade 2, and it's not the first one.
Really?
It's not the first one.
I was gonna say 3.
Really?
Yeah, there's something about 3. Maybe, I don't know. I felt like they got it. I mean, I love all 3 of them. Don't get me wrong, but 3 for me, it's rare that, just like we're talking about, it's not often that the franchises get it right, either first, second, or third. But it seemed to have something for everyone, right? Even when you look at a movie or like a franchise like The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I love The Dark Knight Rises. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's one of my favorites. Yeah. You know, so I like it when you can pick your favorites out of them, but I also like it when there's a good continuity of what you're getting in each one, and each one has something to call you back. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So the thing I like about 2, I think, is because it went more horror for me, and growing up, horror was like my favorite genre. Like I was a 9-year-old watching horror movies, and I loved them. And so I think that's what attracts me to Blade 2, how it's set up, the tension, the mystery, the horror, and then realizing, what truly created this hybrid vampire, and just the way that they got you, and it was. I freaking love it. Oh, and him pairing up with the vampires.
Yeah.
Like, I freaking loved it, yo. I loved it. Like, I've watched Blade 2 so many times. And it was like, I think so the first one was good. I'll be honest, the girl, she didn't do nothing for me.
Yeah. Everybody.
I wish they'd written her a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't really inspire me,
And it's funny that movie, that first one, actually helped Marvel the way it did. You know what I mean? So
yes, like, give Blade their flowers, yo.
Yeah, exactly, right? I'm waiting to see what the new one's gonna be like. What do you think? You looking forward to it?
The Marshali?
Yeah.
You know what? I am. looking forward to it because I am already looking at it separate from Wesley Snipes ones. I'm not even looking at that. I'm just focused on this, and I feel like they're smart enough to go a totally different direction with the introduction.
Yeah.
My only concern is them, obviously the writer strikes didn't help anything. Certain box office draws aren't helping anything. What I think, what I'm hoping that they're doing is falling back on good, faithful storytelling and properly pairing practical effects with CGI.
Yeah.
I'm seeing so much of these sci-fi movies now, like it's like entire green screen. Like when we're going to space in the galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy, I understand. We're in space. I understand. But even then, they're able to still have sets where it's believable. I mean, I don't want to get into Ant-Man in the Flash, but I'm just like, look, like how does the advancement of CGI look worse now than it did 10, 15 years ago? I'm so confused. And
it shouldn't. If you're not prepared to show that kind of a story and you feel like it's going to take a drain, I feel like, is it hurting the budget to go that extra distance with your CGI so that it looks good? I mean, because it feels like they start to cheapen it and start to cut back and you can see it.
So I can only go off hearsay. I can't confirm. But one of the things that I hear is they don't have the story all the way figured out, and they're figuring it out as they're going. So they tend to change things that the artists have to go back and redo, which costs you more money. These crazy deadlines, giving them these like freaking 15-hour days, work days and things like that, when if you had just taken a breather, written out the story, taken that extra time in pre-production before you start production, it would benefit you better. And again, bringing that extra cost of building the sets, rather than throwing that extra money into having them redo the same scenes because you were rushing, take half of that budget and put it in building up practical sets again to accompany the green screen, because that's also why these movies are so dark, because everything is done on green screen and the lighting and everything. There's only so much you can do with that. Yeah. So that's my concern. And I love colors. I freaking love colors. I'm a big color person. So that, that's a bit much for me, myself personally. So, yeah. But I see what people are saying the fourth one. But yeah, again, we could be here all day talking about practical effects versus CGI. I'm an 80s baby, so, the 80s shaped me largely with what I expect out of my stories. So, yeah. All right. Well, you know what? Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sitting down with me and talking. This was amazing. This was fun. I'm very excited.
Hey, yes. Thank you for having me on. I love watching. I mean, you're always very insightful. I love the show. I mean, this is a great idea, and I love seeing it.
Thank you. I'm gonna keep doing Hot Take Tuesdays. I have a couple things down the line that I haven't really talked about yet that may affect my ability to do lives on Tuesday nights. We'll see how the rest of March goes. I got a couple of things in the works, but I will still, if nothing else, I will at least still drop a 1-minute Hot Take Tuesday thing in the morning, and I'll post funny videos and I'll still do the real talk, even though it's once a month. So, I gotta ease back because I got a lot of writing, filming, editing I gotta do. That's what it is. That's all. But thank you again. Thank you. And this is your first time showing your face on social media?
Yeah, it's my first time.
I read it and I was like, oh!
I was like, I went up to the mirror. I was like, is it going to look all right?
Yes.
My first time. I said, yeah. But hey, you made the experience comfortable, and luckily I watched enough that I felt like I could feel comfortable with you doing it. And you got a great vibe for a show, and I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you so much.
Like I said, I love watching.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you. All right. Well, I will be here next Tuesday. I don't know what movie yet because of the guest, as you know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. Take care and continue to post, comment. Let's, I love this community that we're doing. Let's do it.
Let's
do it.
Going. Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
All right.
Hey, have a good one.
You
Enjoy the rest of your
too.
week. And
You
to everybody
too.
else listening, thanks for watching.
Yes. Bronx out, whatever.
Bronx, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. My husband's from the Bronx. My husband's from the Bronx. If he had been in the chat, we would have been hearing it. So.
Hey, and if you don't mind a quick plug, stop by Talk TV, check it out. Let me know what you guys think. It's in its early stages. It's in phase 1, so I hope you guys will visit the website and feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think.
We'll do. And I'm sorry, I meant to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Hey, I had a great time, and I want to say that. And seriously, this was a fun experience for me. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.